Hello, welcome to Sizzle Crypto, and on today's video, let's talk about BTC, USDT, ICP, and some news that shakes the market. Let's get right into it. Alright, just showing Bitcoin again, nothing too crazy. I'm not going to go too extensive on some charts this video because a lot of crypto has taken a hit, but what I do want to show you is what I was telling you yesterday. Look. Bitcoin is fuzzing around here, and if it forms a head and shoulder S pattern, it could lead a break to the down trend line. And keep in mind is that if it does break the trend line, I would really like to see what it does on this support, because a lot of times it will scare people once it breaks this humongous trend line. I'm like, oh no, we're going down, that's it, everyone jump off shift. But it's a good chance it could also pull a fake out, retest here, and then shoot to the moon. So that's just something I'm trying to look out for. If you're going to make a short-term trade, I would wait for this to develop a little more. And if it is forming that head and shoulders, well, you'll have a short trade in play. So let's look at USDT dominance, which I was trying to show you yesterday too. Look what happened. Just like I said, hit the top of the trend line. I've just been in the market for a long time, so I kind of have seen this kind of stuff play out. It's almost as if everything kind of just repeats. It takes time for it to play out, but it has. This is a 4-hour chart, so for every 1 bar, 4 hours. And what we want to see is that this get rejected off the trend line and go down and break lower. If that happens, we are going to see Bitcoin pumping, and we are going to see the altcoins pumping. Now, which one will pump more? We'll just have to see. Is it Bitcoin season or is it altcoin season? But I do think a lot of people are still eyeing Bitcoin. And so right now, I would be keeping an eye on Bitcoin, or if you have a trade ready to go or later, do as you please practically. And so that's all I'm going to show you on that. There's nothing too much to show. I've already showed you on the video yesterday of what I was looking at. I think it was around here. And just like I said, it hit the top of this trend line. We really want this to be rejected. Let's check the RSI real quick. Nope, nothing wrong looking here. Everything looks normal. We are kind of getting a little curve. Nothing too much. So let's move on from here. All right, just something to show as a possible trade potential. If USDT does get rejected, right here we got ICP, and if you see a lot of support here, this is where a lot of times the price bounces off. Touches here, price bounces off. And just to make it clear, let's just do it here. Boom. We got essentially support / ESC resistance. And right now, this is a strong support because if you've seen, it has had bounces multiple times, got close to the support line, took off. Once again, right here, what we would like to see is a takeoff. And if it does hit this double bottom, we're on the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 1-day chart. All right, 1-day chart. Let me get rid of this. Boom. ICP just looks like it's a good potential. On the RSI, it's not showing anything crazy. All normal. No divergences I see on the 1-day. I haven't checked the lower time frame. Let's go back to the 4-hour. All right. And from what I see, it still could go a little bit down. It's forming a double top right here. So I wouldn't jump in just yet. I would really wait to see the direction of USDT dominance. If it starts getting rejected off this trend line and going down, it might be a good time to jump in. Remember, a lot of times you're not going to hit the bottoms and you're not going to hit the tops. The money, from what I had a mentor in before, always made it very clear the money's made in the middle. So let's say you could essentially you see USDT bouncing off. It's getting rejected by the trend line. What I would say is if it could even hit back around this high, that's a good 10 to 12%, depending if you're leveraged. It could be a lot more. But if it does form a double bottom, we do hit an altcoin season. It is going crazy. We definitely got a lot more potential along the way. So let's get into quick news that will move the markets. Okay, Arizona State Senator vows to reintroduce a Bitcoin reserve bill despite governor's veto. Although SB 1025 is off the table for now, Arizona's involvement in crypto legislation is far from over. Another crypto-related proposal, Senate Bill 1373, is still under consideration. Unlike SB 1025, this bill doesn't involve retirement savings. Instead, it seeks to allow the state to retain and manage cryptocurrencies obtained through seizures or appropriated assets. So, as the House and the Senate still looks like they're ready to put a fight, even though Katie Hobbs did reject the last crypto bill just recently. I think yesterday or the day before, she rejected it, which was going to allow retirement funds to be something that's invested in crypto asset. It looks like it's off the table for now, but Arizona is still inching towards crypto acceptance. So we'll just have to wait and see how this goes. It's going to take a while to play out. Everything in government takes forever. So we'll just have to wait. All right, moving on to the next. U.S. stablecoin regulations could be delayed as pro-crypto Democrats pull support. All right, the point of this is that Senate Democrats want tighter regulation under the Genius Act. What do I want to take out of this? Where the Senate Democrats believe that the Genius Act needs stronger provisions on anti-money laundering, foreign issuers, and national security, preserving the safety and soundness of our financial system, and accountability for those who don't meet the Act's requirement. That sounds all nice and fun and dandy, but the only thing that does scare me is I always worried when people in government say nice and fancy words like this, because it could be possible they want to control the innovation instead of letting the innovation spur and bloom prosperously. And that's the problem I do see. We're just going to have to wait and see. I just feel like when I hear that the Senate Democrats want tighter regulations, a lot of time it means they just want to know everything you have. And so right now, we're just going to have to wait and see on that. So right now, the U.S. stablecoin regulations could be delayed as pro-crypto Democrats pull support. All right, let's jump into the last bit of news I have for you today. The House Republicans released draft bill to establish federal framework for crypto regulation. And the main point I want to get off of this, there's a lot of mumbo jumbles in between here. You can read it yourself. But I put this in a snippet. The reason it's not on the official website is because I wanted to highlight a couple things. And one of the things I wanted to highlight is that the draft sets regulatory pathways for digital commodity exchanges, broker, and dealers under the CFTC, while allowing the SEC to retain jurisdiction over securities and certain hybrid assets, entities, and performing custody function, trading facilitation, or interfacing with customers must allow newly defined regulations and disclosure procedures, subcommittee chair Still said. Okay, and also one big thing I do want to note on this bill, the draft preserves protections for DeFi protocols and self-custody. It excludes DeFi trading protocols and messaging systems from traditional financial regulations, providing they do not custody or exercise direction over user funds. So it looks like regulation is starting to come down the pipeline for crypto. It seems that mass adoption is essentially practically here. Now, most people do not have crypto. I do understand that. But these frameworks will put confidence in the consumer and starting to get into crypto or dabbling in crypto, and seeing as it's a safe and more safer investment than it was about 5 years ago. So that's all I have to show you today. That's the crypto news that shakes the market. And thank you for watching my video. Like and subscribe, and peace out.